Hi Leo, this is Tisch Aitken, and this is your monthly report for the month of September. The month of August had very unpredictable and unstable energy as there was strong Uranian energy at play. Uranus is the modern ruler of Aquarius. Jupiter, which is the grand benefic, re-entered the fixed air sign of Aquarius on July 28th, and it will be there until December 29th. For you, it's transiting in your house of partnerships and relationships. In Aquarius, it can bring a lot of opportunities to meet people and socialize and build community, and it can bring romantic and social and professional opportunities to meet people, but it's unpredictable in Aquarius, and so we're dealing with that energy. And then the Sun, Mercury, and Venus were all transiting in your sign, and they squared the planet Uranus throughout the month, and this brought more shocks and surprises and unexpected news. And then Uranus itself stationed retrograde on August 19th at 14 degrees and 47 minutes of the fixed Earth sign of Taurus, and you felt that energy 5 days before and 5 days after. And Uranus has been transiting on and off in your house of career and life direction since May 15th of 2018. And Uranus can bring strong, sudden change, fast fixed change, and a lot of chaos and unpredictability. And that energy was very palpable, during the station. And I'm doing these videos during the station, and I can very much feel it right now. So it's hard to sit still, and many have confirmed that. So I'm sure you felt that, and there could have been some shocks and surprises, hopefully some good news out of the blue, because that could happen too. But as we begin the month of September, the Uranian energy is less hectic. We're not dealing with that as strongly. And the Sun and Mars are both transiting in the mutable Earth sign of Virgo in your house of money and income and what you value. And this can bring good opportunities for making money and for focusing on your finances. Mercury, which is the planet of communication, and Venus is the planet of relationships and finances, are both transiting in the cardinal air sign of Libra in your third house of communication, thoughts and ideas, as well as sales and marketing and local community. And this is a good opportunity for getting involved with networking, if you have your own business, with marketing yourself, and if you're taking classes, an excellent time for doing so. Mercury will retrograde at the end of the month at 25 degrees of Libra, and it's going to be retrograde until October 18th, when it stations direct at 10 degrees of Libra, and then it leaves this area of your chart altogether on November 6th, when it enters the sign of Scorpio. So a lot of focus on reevaluating your thoughts, if you're being positive in this difficult time, how you can be so, and definitely reassessing how you can learn and teach and get involved in your local environment. We all need to rebuild the areas around us as well as the world. And so as we begin September, the Mars opposes Neptune on September 2nd at 1:43 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And for you, this could affect your finances. Maybe there's confusion with financial agreements, or deception possibly, or just feeling really drained. So that's a difficult energy, I'd say. But then on September 4th, there's very good energy around business and communication, because Mercury forms a very helpful trine to Saturn, which is the planet of stability, on at 11:30 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that brings solid communication. That's very helpful, good for relationships of all kinds and positive communication. And then on September 5th, Venus forms a challenging square to Pluto, which is the cosmic compost, and that could bring breakups and power struggles in relationships. For you, it's a good time to reassess what's healthy for you and what you need to purge, again, with your thinking, among other things, and perhaps with your habits. And then on September 6th, there's a very good energy because it's a day of a new moon. So that's an excellent day for doing the law of abundance and setting intentions and journaling your thoughts of what you want to manifest, especially with Mercury and Venus transiting in your house of thoughts and ideas. And on that day, Mars forms a beautiful trine to Uranus at 8:20 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring excellent opportunities for you professionally and financially. And then at 9:05 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, Venus forms a beautiful trine to Jupiter. Those are the two luckiest planets of the zodiac, and it could bring positive romantic and professional and social opportunities and just a sense of feeling good and optimistic. And then the new moon occurs at 8:52 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 14 degrees and 28 minutes of the mutable earth sign of Virgo. And this new moon occurs in your house of income and what you value. So again, a lot of focus on your finances and making money. So this is a great new moon for you financially. And then right after that, the sun trines Uranus at 9:29 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that's a very innovative energy, again, for you financially and professionally. So really positive day of new beginnings. So definitely circle that date in your calendar. And then on September 7th, Mercury opposes Chiron, the wounded healer, at 11:30 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on September 8th at 2:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that can bring a good opportunity for reassessing how you do healing work around your wounds and vulnerability. And for all of us, this is a very painful time, so that might be good energy for focusing on that, even though it brings up painful issues. And then on September 10th, Venus changes signs and enters the fixed water sign of Scorpio at 4:39 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be there until October 7th. And for you, it will transit in your house of home and family and emotional foundation. Venus in Scorpio is very passionate, but it's technically in its detriment. It's a difficult placement in Scorpio. But for you, it's transiting in your house of needs and home and your foundation. So it's excellent for improving your environment, fixing up your home, for getting along with your family, hopefully, and also if you have your own business, it can be very positive for financial endeavors professionally if you work at home or if you have your own business. So that's a nice energy. And then on September 14th, the sun opposes Neptune at 5:21 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring a haze and a confusing energy, again, around maybe painful issues that might surface, or maybe financial issues. But it's a good energy for manifesting if you're able. And then later in the day, Mars, which is the planet of action, enters the cardinal air sign of Libra at 8:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and it will be there until October 30th. And it's transiting in your house of communication and local communities. So good opportunity for marketing yourself, selling yourself, and focusing on getting involved locally. And then on September 16th, the sun trines Pluto at 9:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's a really good energy around up-leveling your ego and helping you to feel empowered, and that's a nice energy. Later that day, Venus squares Saturn at 11:15 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time and at 2:15 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time on September 17th. And that can be more of a reality check on what is working and what is not, and what you can do about that story. And then on September 20th, we're going to have a full moon. And so on that day, the moon meets up with Neptune at 7:39 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can bring emotional and sensitive and very psychic energy. Mercury forms a trine to Jupiter, and that can be helpful. That occurs at 6:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can bring optimism, in your thoughts as we deal with this heavy full moon, because then the full moon occurs at 7:53 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 28 degrees and 14 minutes of the mutable water sign of Pisces. And that sets off where there's a fixed star known as Shiat that's connected with shipwrecks and loss and sorrow. It's a very difficult placement, so it can be very emotional, and knowing that it is a heavy full moon, and again, we're in a very sad time in history, so letting yourself feel that emotion, letting yourself feel the pain and trying to work through it. And so that's one thing. And then on September 22nd, we have the equinox, and that is the beginning of the fall season in the northern hemisphere and the spring season in the southern sphere, and that hemisphere. And that is when the sun crosses the celestial equator and is the equator, and it's approximately equal day and equal night, and the sun is heading south in the northern hemisphere and north in the southern hemisphere. And we look at what the next few months have for us with the equinox chart, and the equinox chart has Capricorn rising at approximately 14 degrees, which sets off where Saturn stationed in September of 2018, and the moon will be in Libra that day. It's at 21 degrees of the cardinal air sign of Libra, and it's setting off where the Saturn-Pluto conjunction occurred on January 12th of 2020, and that was a conjunction that brought down the structures in our lives and what we're all rebuilding now. So that's a big deal. And Mercury squares Pluto at 9:12 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that definitely can bring battles and communication, but it also could be purging negative thoughts and assessing what you need to eliminate so that you can resolve what you're trying to fix and heal, since we've been dealing with the Saturn-Pluto story of 2020. And let's see, and then on September 23rd, Venus opposes Uranus at 5:41 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that could bring unexpected professional opportunities, could be erratic, definitely. It could be exciting. It's very innovative thinking. It also could be stress at home and family. But expect the unexpected. It could be kind of exciting. And then on September 25th, Mars trines Pluto at 5:50 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that's a very up-leveling and empowering energy for getting things done. And on September 26th, Mercury stations retrograde at 10:10 p.m. Pacific Daylight Time, and on September 27th at 1:10 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And this is a big deal because Mercury is retrograde at 25 degrees of Libra, and this brings us back to the story of the fall of 2018. Venus retrograded in Scorpio on October 5th of 2018 at 10 degrees of Scorpio, and it's stationed direct on November 17th at 25 degrees of Libra. This occurs every 8 years, that It retrogrades at a middle degree approximately in Scorpio, about 10 degrees, and then stations direct at a late degree of Libra. And that energy for all of us can be a time to reassess what we were trying to create, what we wanted to build in our lives during that Venus star conjunction. It was an inferior conjunction that occurred on October 26th of 2018. The Venus and the Sun met up in Scorpio. So reassessing what you want to create in your life, and also again how you can be positive in your communication and in your thoughts, and how you can learn more during this time. In the new age of Aquarius, our biggest assets and resources are our ability to commune with others and to learn and evolve our thinking in leaps and bounds. It's a technological revolution, among other things. And then on September 29th, Venus squares Jupiter, and that is, Venus trines Neptune at 12:14 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that is very romantic and creative energy and very good for romance. Neptune is the higher octave of Venus, very creative energy. And then on September 30th, Venus squares Jupiter, and that occurs at 7:31 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, and that can be excessive energy. Could be a lot with relationships or family members, but I don't think it's difficult because the two benefics are at play. So the month of September is not as hectic as the month of August, and we will have a retrograde. Mercury will station direct on October 18th, and then it will leave Libra altogether on November 6th. So good opportunity to reassess how you can learn and get involved in your local environment. And I wish you a lot of luck, Leo. Thank you very much. Take care.